Gary, how's the result tonight? That'll hurt.
Yeah, it's hurt me a lot, and it's not acceptable. We've come up short, and we've bottled it. The truth be told, how the same group of players that beat Linfield on Saturday 3-2 come out and put in a performance like that, and they beat a better side. I'm not taking anything away from Dungannon. They wanted it more than us. They were hungrier than us. They were better than us, and they deserved their victory, and they deserved to be in the next round of the cup. So, listen, I'm not saying anything about Dungannon. I'm talking about ourselves. We weren't good enough tonight. It wasn't acceptable. After first 15-20 minutes, again, we scored early, and is it a case of they think they're better than what they are, and that's the way it looked like to me, because after that we stopped, and we didn't have another period in the game at all. And that's when you're at home, you need to be better than that. And tonight, certainly for me, we had too many players that didn't show up and didn't turn up and weren't hungry enough.
That's what it comes down to. Then you think complacency?
Yeah, 100%. There's no two ways about it. You look at our results this year, Michael. We've come up short in a lot of these games. You know, we drew twice at home with Carrick. We drew at home with Dungannon earlier on in the season. We've got beat twice in derby matches. The same group of players have drew with Korean 3 times this year. Beat Linfield once. Give them 2 good games. Beat Crusaders twice. You know, all the top teams. You know, they've competed. They've proved that they're good enough players, but you know, as I said to them in there, it's the mental side of things. Is it that they think they're better when they're playing the teams in the bottom half of the league, or what is it? Because certainly you can't go out on Saturday and within 48 hours, 72 hours, you know, put in a performance like that, completely the opposite of Saturday, and it's concerning, you know. And I said to them in there, you know, they've only got one chance of getting to Europe now, and that's finishing 7th and giving themselves an opportunity. And you know, at the minute they're in the driving seat in terms of 6 points clear. But you know, if they don't get it, you know, there's something severely wrong with them mentally and as a group, because you know, we've let ourselves down at all the crunch situations this year, and we can't keep doing it. And you know, they've got 5 games now, and they have to, as a group of players, they have to make sure they finish 7th in the league to give the club that's good to them, look after them, give them something back. And as I said, you know, sometimes as a manager, if you're getting beat all the time, or you know, you're going on a run of games where you're not winning, and you know, you look at yourself and you look at your staff and you look at everything you're doing, you know, that's the most frustrating thing for me. You know, I'm picking teams every week. You know, I think we're unbeaten in 8 games at home. But if you look at them 8 games, most of them are top sides. Most of them are Lawrence and Ballaminas and Linfields and teams like that. You know, and then tonight, you know, again, we've come into a big game for the football club, and we've come up short. We've come up very short, and you know, listen, Dungannon certainly were well deserving of their victory tonight. Deserved to win the game, and you know, for me, that's hurt. That hurt me, and it will do. You know, I'll not recover that for at least a few days, maybe weeks, because at the end of the day, it was an opportunity to pay something back to the football club today. This football club has been really good to the players, the chairman, the directors. Have put a great football stadium in place, and a great football playing surface in place, that was deserving of getting this year's Irish Cup. What a nice return it would have been for them to try and go the whole way and get there and play in a final and give them something back. And unfortunately they've let everybody down at the football club, and that's not good enough, and that's not acceptable. And listen, I'm the manager and I accept responsibility, but at the same token, we have to look at the players and across the line as well at times. And you know, I've always come out and backed them up, and I've always been very kind about them, because you know, I like them as people, I like them as personalities. But you know, too many times this year we've let the club down when it's come to games that I would call it pressure games, you know, where we're expected to win. You know, the bottom 6 games you're expected to get results. We haven't always produced. So you know, the thing about them they have now is the next 5 games are all bottom teams. They're all pressure games that they're expected to win. They can come out and give it their all, like probably we do when we play Linfield or everything else. But you know, it'll be a test of their character, and let me tell you, if we fail from now to the end of the season, there'll be a lot of changes in the summer. I can definitely guarantee that.
In terms of the game itself, started off fairly well. I mean, that's what probably makes it a wee bit even more surprising for me.
Yeah, but you can complacent, Michael. Yeah. You know, sometimes you score early. I think we've done it the other week against Crusaders as well, in another game that was a crunch game as such. You know, we score early. All of a sudden, we looked as if we got complacent. Then all of a sudden, we get beat 6-1. Tonight was the same. You know, we scored early. We looked really good first 15, 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, we got complacent. We were giving away silly free kicks, or the gaps between our lines were massive. And all of a sudden, they come into the game, and deservedly so. Deservedly so, because they played really well, and we allowed them to do that. But you know, complacency is a massive thing in football, and you know, as I said, from Saturday you should be coming into that game tonight confident, ready to go, flying, you know, and we did. We started it like that, but you know, certainly the next sort of 75, 70 minutes we ended like as poor as I've seen us for a long time.
You'd have sending off as well in the second half. That didn't really help your cause either.
Yeah, and again, listen, I said as it is, I'm not going to hide behind the wall for to get sent off at that period, you know, when they're on top, and put yourself in a situation in an Irish Cup game where you're down to 10 men, you know, the team's on top of you, make your life even more difficult, is a really poor decision. It's a bad decision, and that doesn't help you. You know, all of a sudden you're playing against a team that's on top of you, and you're 10 v 11, and they're going to hit you in the counter as well, and that's what proved to be, you know. But if you keep 11 men on the pitch, then it always gives you a chance, you know, no matter how bad you are, you've always got a chance. But certainly tonight, that was a poor decision.
Yeah. Obviously now, as you say, focus now turns to that game on Saturday against Ballymena. You'll be expecting a reaction, no doubt.
Yeah, listen, it's up to them now. Again, you know, as I said, I'm sick, sore and tired of coming out here all the time and backing them up. It's up to them now, not for me, not for the coaching staff, for themselves, and more importantly the club and the supporters. The least that they can do is give the supporters and the club a crack at European football. The only way they can do that is by finishing 7th, and it's in their hands. It's up to them to produce it now.
It's not that long since we played Ballymena. I mean, what are you expecting from them?
Listen, it's going to be a tough game. All games are tough, as we've seen tonight. You know, it's tough games, and it's not going to be any different on Saturday. I don't know how they get on tonight, but they won. So, you know, they'll be going into the game of confidence, and as I say, we have to make sure that we're ready for it, and you know, we need to bounce back massively from that performance tonight.